welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller. In tonight's news, legendary Tennessee college football coach Johnny Majors passed away yesterday. Free Fishing Day is coming up, and Governor Bill Lee updates us on coronavirus testings in vulnerable populations. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
Hello, I'm Ray Noyes. This is a critical time in Tullahoma. On August the 6th, voters will have an opportunity to elect a new mayor, one who can provide proven, experienced leadership, one who knows how to get things done and keep Tullahoma moving. I recognize the value of Tullahoma's excellent school system. Our system is recognized as one of the best in the state, and I'll ensure that our schools continue at that level. I will not vote to raise property taxes in order to have a balanced budget until all other options have been exhausted. I'll work closely with our city staff to ensure that my fiscally conservative values are incorporated. I've served on all city boards involved in economic development. I see that as a way that we can broaden our tax base and avoid a property tax rate increase. Some developers have had issues with our planning and codes department. I'll commit to these improvements. There'll be consistency in the instructions from planning and codes without changes from day to day. And there'll be predictable timelines for providing delivery dates for plan reviews, permits, and inspections. Timelines that will be met reliably. Now, while we can't do much about the traffic on 41A and 55, we can improve our local streets and sidewalks. And this I commit to do. So I ask for your vote for proven, experienced leadership.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Welcome back. Johnny Majors, legendary coach for the Tennessee football team and member of the College Football Hall of Fame, died early Wednesday morning at his home in Knoxville. He was 85 years old. Mary Lynn Majors, his wife of 61 years, said, quote, "It's with a sad heart that we make this announcement. John passed away this morning. He spent his last hours doing something he dearly loved, looking out over his cherished Tennessee River," end quote. Majors guided Pittsburgh to a national championship and undefeated season in 1976 before becoming Tennessee's head coach in 16 seasons at Tennessee. From 1977 to 1992, Majors compiled a 116, 62, and 8 record. John Gray and I had the pleasure of speaking with John Majors a few years ago. Coach Majors, of course, a member of the College Football Hall of Fame. Number 45 for the University of Tennessee recently had that jersey retired up there, which doesn't happen much. Coach, it's a pleasure to see you today.
Wow, I didn't know I was a living legend. You had people in Lynchburg and Huntley wouldn't believe that. They know me. They know I'm not a legend. But I do. I have been a very fortunate person, and because I grew up down the road here at Lynchburg, born and raised there, and all my family from back in the 1850s, were the Majors and the Bobos were from that area, and I moved to Huntley when I was a sophomore. But we spent more time in Tullahoma to go to the big town than any other town in the area, Fayetteville, Winchester, and Shelbyville, because my dad did a lot of barbering up here in World War II. He was owner of a barber shop in the new arcade at that time, which is no more, but the area is still here in Tullahoma. And this is where we spent more time socially to go to the movies, because we had no movies in Lynchburg at that time. And we I had a lot of great friends in Tullahoma. So did my dad, and surrounding areas, but more in Tullahoma. 'Cause I used to hitchhike up here when I was a 14-year-old, approaching my freshman year in Tullahoma. Had an American Legion baseball team coached by Fred Grider, who was an outstanding man for youth.
Another legend here.
Huh?
Another legend in our team.
He was a terrific person. He taught us how to play baseball. My dad taught me a lot about baseball, but Fred Grider was certainly very important to me as a young person, and I got to meet had a lot of friends here: Ralph Holden, Eric Sosby, and Billy Joe Finney, and T. Motlow, who grew up down in Lynchburg. A bunch of characters, a lot of them were. Jimmy York, but I had spent a lot of time up here, and I always enjoy coming back. And I know this is not a speech I'm supposed to be making, but I get back to Middle Tennessee 3 or 4 times a year and spend a week at our Sewanee home, where I never lived, but we have a family home, and we go there every Christmas for about a week, and also every week, about a week, 4th of July. And I always come off to the lesser towns like Tullahoma and Shelbyville and visit some friends. You know, I kid people. Somebody will say, well, I said, where are you from? I'm from Tullahoma. Oh, I said, suburb of Lynchburg. Yeah. I said, all the folks around the surrounding area used to come to Lynchburg for their culture.
You've mentioned your dad a couple of times, and your dad tell us who your dad was.
My dad was Shirley Inman Majors. He was born in 1913, was a great athlete and a wonderful father and a very loyal friend and a terrific person. And I'm not embarrassed to say, well, I'm not embarrassed at all, but I'm not going to be modest about my father. He had a lot of Tullahoma friends. He was well-known athletically, and many people said the best quail shot that ever came out of this part of the country. I've hunted with him and never was there a better one. And he also could coach football, baseball, and basketball. I'm the oldest of 5 boys, and fortunately, we were all good athletes. My dad was a superb athlete. He had speed, he could punt the ball, he could pass, he had great speed in baseball. I saw him play independent baseball and saw him play basketball. I saw him demonstrate in football and scrimmage against the Lynchburg team when he was a head coach there. And he had a very successful career. He was barbering in Tullahoma in 1944. And Lynchburg had given up football in 43, and he drove back and forth. And Joe and Bill and I'm the oldest, we'd come up about once a month and watch the movies in Tullahoma and sit around the barber shop and see him shave and give haircuts to the soldiers, and they'd get shoe shines and all that. It was very exciting times. And but in 44 they wanted to start football again, and they asked my dad to coach. They couldn't afford a coach. And many men were 4F. Either they had to farm and couldn't go to the war because we had to have food to eat, and the soldiers did, or either they were because of health. My dad had flat feet and was turned down, and also high blood pressure at age 28 when he had 5 kids. And he started coaching the team with no pay, with no playbook, no assistant coaches, just from what he learned from his high school coach in Lynchburg in 1928, 29, and 30.
Now this was at Sewanee?
That was at Lynchburg.
At Lynchburg.
He was barbering in Tullahoma. We were living in Lynchburg, and he drove back and forth to barber. And at the end of the day, he'd go and coach the football team at Lynchburg. Okay. And then he stayed there 3 years and drove back and forth to Deckard for 2 years, back when Deckard had a high school. But when they combined with Winchester to make Franklin County High School, my dad took the Huntland job. They never had football. So he took the Huntland job in 49 and drove back and forth from Huntland. He didn't want to move us the first year, even though he was the head coach there, because we had 6 kids, and Bob was just a baby. I was 14, started my freshman year. And he started there, and they won 2 games and lost 5 the first year. He had to show them how to put the uniforms on. And they never had, 70% of them had never seen a football before, a football game. And the next 7 years, the Huntland Hornets won 70 games, lost 1 and tied 1. And 49, I got to tell you a little something about the 49 team. At Lynchburg, I was a starting quarterback and played some halfback, played both ways. Some principal overdid the scheduling. As a little boy, when my dad took us to Manchester and all these surrounding towns in Tullahoma to watch the high school teams play, and of course we'd see Lynchburg play, and Lynchburg never played Manchester or Shelbyville or Tullahoma. The last time I think they played one was my dad was in high school. Well, I knew that Tullahoma and Manchester and Pulaski were bigger schools than we were, but I'd never seen Lynchburg play against them. My first start, I started all 10 games. My first start in '49, when I was a freshman, 14 years old, played with Manchester, and we lost the game 58-0. And I've told people I had a lot to do with the success of our team that year. I threw 3 interceptions in my first game at Manchester. We come to Tullahoma the next week. They had a big guy named, I believe, Wallace Jones, the big end. And our first string center was a senior, broke his leg. As here I'm 14 years old taking snaps. We only got beaten 75-6 against Tullahoma the second game. 65-7 at Pulaski. We won 1 game. We beat my dad's Huntland team 19-13 over at Huntland. And I scored 2 of the 3 touchdowns on an intercepted pass and a run. Beat them 19-13. And I'm the oldest of 5 boys and 1 girl. My dad said it'd be the last, he wasn't a big cursor, but he'd say the S word or something, the D word or something. No, never used the Lord's name in vain, but he said, that'd be the last that blame time a son of mine plays against me. I'm the oldest.
And we'll be airing the interview in its entirety on Saturdays at 1:30 p.m. Stay with us. We'll be right back in a moment with more News Leader on 6.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
I'm Philip Bourne, Stem and Nail Detail Shop Manager. Here are a few things our customers have to say about our service.
What I love most about the Stem McNabb Detail Shop is there's someone local that I can trust to pick up my car, have it cleaned, and deliver it back to me in showroom condition.
What really amazed me is when he opened the hood and looked like he had taken the old engine out and put a new engine inside.
We have several different packages and individual services to get your vehicle looking like new again. We're located just behind Stem McNabb Chevrolet dealership. Call today, schedule an appointment, and see what a difference our detail can make.
My great-grandfather started it in 1900, and now it's 2020, which is 120 years. We still measure your feet, still try to help you find a good fit. We're just a good old-fashioned shoe store where we'll measure your feet, make sure you're in the right size, and help you find a comfortable shoe for men, women, and children.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Welcome back. The Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency announced the 2020 Free Fishing Day will go on as scheduled. The day is set for Saturday, June 6th, when anyone may fish free without a license in Tennessee public waters. The Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency provides the annual free day in hopes of increasing interest in fishing. The day allows anyone the opportunity to try the great outdoor sport, especially children, to celebrate fishing as a wholesome and healthy recreational option. In addition, children ages 15 and younger may fish without a license beginning on Free Fishing Day and continuing on through the following Friday. June 12th. This year's Free Fishing Day will be held under unusual circumstances due to the coronavirus pandemic. Many events have been canceled, including all TWRA hosted events. You can check the TWRA's youth fishing website for a complete list of events and cancellations at www.tn.gov/TWRA. Despite having the organized events canceled, TWRA will still stock these locations with catfish before Saturday and encourages families to go fishing at a safe distance. Frank Fisk, TWRA Fisheries Chief, said, quote, "We regret that our personnel will not be able to attend or host the fishing events that we always enjoy, but safety is our top priority. Despite this, we have continued the stocking process and hope families can go and enjoy the day," end quote. The day and week are annual events in Tennessee and are great opportunities to introduce children to the enjoyment and excitement of a day on the water catching fish. The TWRA annually stocks several thousand pounds of catfish for Free Fishing Day. Free Fishing Day and week apply to Tennessee's public waters. TWRA owned and operated lakes and state park facilities. Some privately owned own pay lakes and ponds continue to charge anglers, and will need to consult with those operators if there are any questions about their facility. More news is coming up in a moment.
It's not Invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
He's a little bit of you, he's a little bit of me. He's the trash along the roadside of Tennessee. He's the garbage that we find. He's the dream we left behind. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. A throwaway bottle or pop-top can may not seem much to a traveling man, but a little bit of litter goes a long, long way. And I grow and get bigger every day. Tennessee trash messing up the highways. Tennessee trash jogging up the byways. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash.
We have met the enemy, and he is us.
Welcome back. Governor Bill Lee and Dr. Lisa Piercy recently spoke about COVID-19 testing and treatment at nursing homes and jail populations.
Our case count today is 21,679. The good news is that 14,632 have recovered, leaving an active case count of just shy of 6,700. Our numbers continue to flatten, and our positivity rate now is down to 5.2%. I want to give you a few comments on long-term care facilities. We've talked a lot about that. It's an incredibly vulnerable population, and as you've heard the governor say and me say, there is no higher priority than taking care of our most vulnerable here in Tennessee. I will admit it's a massive undertaking, and we've been working with the industry in order to get all 140,000 residents and staff across our 700 licensed facilities in the state tested in the month of May. We're very close to having that done. We are going to allow a couple of weeks grace period to finalize that, but I have some updated numbers for you. 60% of all of the facilities are either completed with their testing or have them scheduled in the coming few days. 20% of the facilities have material needs only, and thankfully we got a big shipment of PPE in a few days ago, and we're going to be able to fill those requests in the next few days, and so those will be able to be completed. And then finally, the remaining 20% need staffing, and as the governor mentioned, the National Guard has been an incredibly valuable partner in that effort, and they will be going out the remainder of this week and next week to finalize those. So thank you again to all the facilities who have stepped up to do that. And then once that mass testing is completed, the nursing home facilities will begin undertaking weekly retesting of their staff, because we know it's the staff members that are going in and out of the community and are the highest risk of bringing infection into the facility just because of their normal movement patterns. So we want to make sure that we are doing retesting of them on a regular basis in order to better protect those residents. Something else that I find exciting that we've done in the nursing home space is through the use of our Nursing Home Civil Monetary Penalty Reinvestment Fund. It's a really long name, but it's a fund that we're able to use to reinvest into nursing homes to improve the quality of care and the quality of life there. I'm happy to announce that we have just allocated over $360,000 to about 40% of the nursing homes in the state through a communication technology project. This allows for virtual social interactions as well as telehealth for these residents to be able to communicate with friends and family as well as medical providers while there still are restrictions on visitation. And speaking of testing and visitation, that's another reason that testing and ongoing monitoring is really important, because we want to be able to reopen our nursing homes for visitation, not only for the residents' benefit, but also for family and friends who want to get back in there and interact in person with their loved ones. And so we feel this is a good step towards that. Finally, an update on our correctional facilities. We have had 4 new cases in the Northwest Correctional Facility, which is up in Lake County. Unfortunately, one of those 4 cases has required hospitalization, and these cases were in inmates that were previously negative when we did the mass testing there in mid-May. As a reminder, there are about 2,000 inmates there, and initially 335 of them tested positive. But because we have identified some new cases there, and those cases seem to be unrelated to one another, we are undertaking another mass testing at that facility. So all of the formerly negative inmates will be retested today, and then all of the staff who were also formerly negative will be retested tomorrow. And so we're doing that in an effort to best protect that vulnerable population and mitigate the spread any further there. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Piercy. And we just want Tennesseans to know that we're committed and continue to be committed to the most vulnerable populations and stringent testing, whether it's in long-term care facilities or in our prisons or in our general population, and especially in our general population, to make sure that we continue to monitor the spread of COVID-19. That is the way that we can address it effectively so that we can continue to allow Tennesseans to engage, to move, to socialize, to continue their practices of social distancing and mask wearing, but to continue to live and go out and get our economy running again. So very encouraging, and we appreciate that.
More news is coming up in a moment.
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the 2 of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in the event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. Governor Bill Lee recently spoke to the Tennesseans about newly released unemployment numbers in the state.
As a state, we're at 14.7% unemployment for the state, which mirrors the national average. But in terms of county unemployment, all 95 of our counties saw unemployment go up in April. Only 3 counties had unemployment rates that were less than 10%. Our highest county was Sevier County at a rate of 29.5%. All this data reminds us that as our economy opens back up, our agency and our state needs to have a renewed focus on workforce development and workforce readiness. Thank you, Governor.
Great. Thank you. It's also a reminder that as our state does open up, this issue of consumer confidence is so important. that we need our businesses to be supported, and we need Tennesseans to engage safely in ways that will allow that economic activity to begin and to get those unemployment numbers back down. There is a lot of challenges that Tennesseans face, and we want to do everything we can to mitigate those challenges. And there are a number of steps that will be taken in the weeks and months ahead to do just that.
Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's got to be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor, too, when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1943 at 96 degrees. The record low was in 1945 at 46 degrees. Average high on this day is 82, and the average low is 60. Thunderstorms in the forecast for tonight with a low of 67. Scattered storms in the forecast for Friday with a high of 82 and a low of 68. And on Saturday, partly cloudy weather expected with a high of 89 and a low of 66. And that's our news leader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6. You have a good evening.